Got the original S3 over there. Got the S3 Pro sitting right here. Let's see what the footage looks like tonight. But there we go. Whoa, don't fall off the ladder, kids. This here is the eufyCam S3 Pro, and there's some major enhancements over the previous eufyCam S3. One of the main ones being this new radar down here, the camera with the very unique max vision, which allows for true color night vision or enhanced night vision without using the spotlight, and a brand new adaptive spotlight mode, which can show really crystal clear images, and the brand new 1/1.8 inch stacked CMOS sensor, which is an 8 megapixel camera producing 4K images, a larger solar panel right here, which is going to give you a lot more power, and my kit did include an external solar panel for additional charge. Eufy now claims that even with only 1 hour of direct sunlight a day, you'll be able to be forever powered. But I'm really curious about the max color vision, because this is going to be something different than the color night vision we've seen in the past or the infrared night vision. So that's something that I'm very curious to see how it performs. Of course, we've got the Homebase 3, which I've previously reviewed on this channel, which does have the Bionic Mind AI technology, and you can add on multiple cameras to the Homebase 3. Inside of the Homebase 3, you can add an additional hard drive right here, up to 16 terabytes to expand the built-in storage. They include all the mounting hardware that you need for both of the cameras and the solar panel, which is just mounted right here. And because it is solar powered, you can basically plug it in anywhere as long as you have direct access to sun and a Wi-Fi connection. Eufy just recently released the eufyCam S3 Pro, and I've had them installed for a few weeks now and want to let you guys know what my thoughts are on if it's good to upgrade to this from the original eufyCam 3, if that's what you already have, or if this is a good kit for you just starting out looking for a good home security or office security camera system. So a few of the big changes are the max color vision, and max color vision is a huge leap forward in night color vision, and I'll show you some examples of that here more coming up. But the addition of this max color vision is one of the big key selling points of the S3 Pro. Whether you get the 2-camera kit or you get the 4-camera kit, or if you already have a Homebase 3, they are planning on just selling the S3 Pro cameras separately so you can add them to your existing Homebase 3, because these Eufy kits come with the Homebase 3, and it's the Homebase S380 model to be specific, which is the exact same Homebase that came with the eufyCam 3. So just know that you're getting the same Homebase if you buy the kit. If you already have a Homebase 3, then you can add these, like I did, to your existing Eufy camera system. One of the other big improvements is the camera aperture, because it now boasts an f1.0 f-stop as compared to the 1.4 f-stop of the previous model. It has the same 135-degree field of view, but they've also added some other features with the spotlight. It now has an adaptive spotlight. One thing that I want to show you guys before I get these installed is the max color vision, because this is something that's very impressive. You can see it here on my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's pretty dark in this corner right here. Like, you really can't see much. Right here on the playback, there it is, right there, you've got night vision. So you've got standard, which is the max color vision. You've got the daylight, which is still also very impressive. You have the spotlight. Whoa, that's very bright, but it does use adaptive. So now in the Osmo Pocket 3 footage, which is good for low light, by the way, so it is picking it up pretty well, I'm sure, but the spotlight definitely helps. As I get closer to the camera, it actually dims down the lights a little bit so that it's not totally overexposing me, which is usually a problem with spotlights, is they overexpose the subject. But I'm seeing here that we've still got pretty good video feed there. Coming further away, yep, it brightened them up a little bit to fill up the space a little bit more with light. And then if we switch to infrared, all the lights go off. There we go. There's the infrared red LED lights I can see now on the front of the camera. And so this is your traditional, actually still very, very crisp infrared night vision. Let's go back to that max color vision again. I'm probably going to stick with the max color vision because that gives the best of both worlds. You can see the brown in my shirt here. You can see the colors in my logo here on this Park City logo. So yeah, I'm definitely liking that. And what I like about it is you don't see anything on the front of the camera itself. But if we go over here to the infrared, you're going to see that you have the infrared red LEDs that are on there. And if I switch it to spotlight, you'll see those spotlights turn on. Whoa, bright. And then we go to daylight, still no, and then the standard. So standard and daylight, I like both of those. See how dark that is? I mean, this whole area right in here is really dark. And I demonstrate this here, showing how that when you get closer to the light, it actually dims to make sure that you're not overexposing your recording, which is a big problem with a lot of cameras that have spotlights built in. If an individual is closer up to the camera, the face tends to get completely washed out because it's usually the lightest thing in the scene, especially at nighttime. This can happen very easily. So I love the addition of the adaptive spotlight so that you don't get overblown highlight and just washed out video. They also now have the Solar Plus 2.0 system, so it is much more efficient and can capture a lot more wattage coming in through those built-in solar panels. This is one of the features that I love the most about the eufyCam S series is that solar panel is built right into the camera. You can additionally plug in through a USB-C cable an external solar panel. In fact, the 2-camera kit comes with one solar panel, and this is helpful if you have to position the solar panel outside, above, or away from where the camera itself is. So if you're placing the camera, say, under the eave of a house, then you can place the solar panel on the roof itself to maximize the amount of solar power that it's going to get. Now, it has all the same AI motion detection features built into it when you're connected to the Homebase 3, which is great, but they've added some additional sensors. They've added radar and PIR sensor for much, much better AI facial recognition. They also have the same AI self-learning system built in for human faces, human movement, vehicles, and pet detection, all of which worked fantastic on the S3 Pro. And as a side note, the Homebase 3 comes with a built-in 16 gigabytes of storage, but you can add additional hard drive inside the Homebase 3 itself simply by unscrewing this top here, pulling out of the tray, installing your hard drive, and then reinserting it back into the Homebase. In fact, I'll leave links in the description of this video to the ones that I recommended to use myself in my Homebase 3 because you can really expand the storage on the Homebase 3. I tend to just put an additional terabyte in there, but you can expand it up to 16 terabytes, which is pretty cool. Something else that's improved in the S3 Pro is the fact that now you can run the camera off of battery or off of wired. So you can, using that USB-C port, you could plug these directly into a USB-C charging brick and power these cameras without having to rely on the solar panel at all, which is a nice feature if you don't want to rely on that solar power. Setup on the eufy cameras has always been simple and straightforward, and I would say that these S3 Pros were the easiest cameras I've ever set up. And this slips right over the top of here. Tighten it down. And I find that if you put this kind of straight out, tighten this down, then you can take this right here and twist the S3 Pro around the 1/4-20 screw until it's tight. Then you're gonna come in here and you're gonna tighten this down. And yes, I know that the camera is upside down, but that just allows me to get it really tight. And then I come back here and loosen this up again to then position it about where I want it, like so. And then you're gonna wanna get the eufy security app up so that we can get the camera positioned just how we want it. So I'm gonna loosen that a little bit. There we go. I want to angle it down a little bit more, over a little bit more, then about like so. Rotate it that way a little bit more. You can really get this thing fine-tuned exactly how you want it. That's looking good right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just lock this down now. And when you do lock it down, notice it does dip the camera down some. And you can also kind of just hold the camera while you tighten it so it doesn't rotate out of position. But there we go. Whoa, don't fall off the ladder, kids. Got the original S3 over there. Got the S3 Pro sitting right here. Let's see what the footage looks like tonight.
They connect directly to the Homebase 3, so you're going to want to keep them fairly close to your Homebase 3 when you're initially setting them up. But once they're connected, you can go out and position them wherever you want to, and I got them installed without any problem. In fact, they're easily mounted to just about any surface, and it has a nice adjustment here so I can point the camera to whatever direction I want to, and it's helpful if you pull up the app and see what the camera sees so you can really dial in the horizontal leveling and the position of that camera specific to your needs.
Okay, to add the S3 Pro, you're going to want to make sure your app is updated to the most recent version of the eufy security app. Then click the little plus sign there. We're going to click on battery camera. You'll see the eufyCam S3 Pro at the top. You can tell by the little radar bump on the bottom there, just graphically, yes, we want to install it at the Manshed studio. Keep your camera within 1 meter of the home base location.
Press the sync button until you hear the beep.
Hold the sync button on the bottom of the camera. So you hear the beep. And we'll click next. Okay, you want to make sure it's fully charged. And you're going to make sure that that USB-C port is covered up after you do that. Then you want to bring it to the location where you're going to end up installing it to test the signal. It's going to give you some instructions on how to mount it and install it, but that's very straightforward. Give it a location, just say front door, and successfully added. There we go. We now have the new S3 Pro added to the Homebase 3.
I really do like the sleek design of the S3, and the S3 Pro has that additional bump out on the bottom now to incorporate those new sensors like the radar and PIR sensor, and they've done a beautiful job incorporating that into the already sleek modern design. Now let's talk more about that max color vision, because to me this is one of the main reasons you would want to upgrade to this eufyCam is that max color vision. Now it's powered by AI, and the eufyCam S3 Pro delivers stunning, crystal clear, day-like footage even in pitch dark conditions without the need for any spotlights. So you can use this max color vision at night without turning on the spotlight, and it was really quite impressive. Like, it really blew me away. And here's a comparison of the original eufyCam, and here's a clip of the eufy S3 Pro, and in this footage you could tell the difference between the license plate. So on the old eufyCam with the night vision, even the color night vision, it was very difficult, almost impossible to read license plate, whereas the S3 Pro, now with that max color vision technology, you can really see that license plate and read it. And don't be freaked out that I'm showing this license plate. This is just a loaner Audi because our Audi is in the shop. So, you know, if you want to find out an awesome Audi dealer in Tucson, Arizona here, that's their loaner car. Now you combine the adaptive spotlight with the max color vision, and you've got a great combination of upgraded features over the original eufyCam. The motion triggered spotlight can automatically adjust lighting for optimal footage, and the quality and enter efficiency of this feature is really what impressed me. You can even tap a specific area in the frame now and really dial in the focus and the exposure without overexposing any other parts. So that's one thing that I love about the tap to focus on the app, because if something is a little bit too dark or a little bit too light, you can tap on the screen and it will adjust accordingly. Another feature is that Solar Plus 2.0 technology. Now with a 50% larger solar panel than the eufyCam 3, just one single hour of sunlight per day keeps the thing fully charged. Now, I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and we have way more than 1 hour of sunlight, so I have no concerns about keeping mine forever charged, forever powered with the eufyCam, but other parts of the country are going to have varying degrees of sunlight, so it's nice that even if you get 1 hour a day, you're good to go with the new Solar Plus 2.0 technology. They've also added an additional coating and shield on the solar panel, which minimizes dust collection on solar panels, which can be a big problem. If you're not checking your solar panels, you really should be. They also have upped their rechargeable battery to a 13,000 milliamp rechargeable battery, which enables total 365 days of battery life. I also love that they do include one additional external solar panel in the 2-camera kit, which gives you additional flexibility if you want to really maximize your solar collection. They've also really made some huge strides in reducing false alarms by up to 99% is what they're claiming. And I definitely noticed a reduction in false alarms or false notifications with the new S3 Pro cameras. Now, this is thanks to additional AI, but also the new radar and PIR sensor, PIR standing for passive infrared. This really helps identify human movement and, again, reduces the amount of notifications that may be false. In fact, as of recording this video, I have yet to have any false recordings or false detections, which I did unfortunately experience with the original eufyCam. So I'm really excited that they've paid attention to the feedback from the customers and minimized, if not eliminated, false alarms altogether. You can also really dial in and customize the level of security and distance that you want motions to be triggered. Along with being able to set custom motion trigger zones, you can also tell the camera how far out you want those detections to be made, so you can customize your secure area. Something else that they've added is the 24/7 smart snapshot. Now, keep in mind, these are battery-powered, solar-powered cameras. If they were recording 24/7, you would run out of power. So one of the ways that they allow the camera to run just off of solar power is the fact that it only records clips when it detects motion. But what happens if something is going on in between those motion detections is the motion detection doesn't pick up, but you want to have a record of? Well, they've added the ability to turn on 24/7 snapshots, and they call them 24/7 smart snapshots. And this gives you the ability, depending on the interval that you tell it to take a photo of what your camera sees every few minutes, hours, half hour, 60 minutes. You decide what you wanted to do, but taking one photo even every 5 minutes is not going to drain the battery. So that's a nice feature that you can have a history and a log of what the area looked like over a set period of time through the use of snapshots. Something else that I love about the Eufy is the cross-camera tracking, and this works with the original eufyCam and the new S3 Pro cameras. And in fact, I'm using several in conjunction along with Eufy's doorbell camera, and it's beautiful how they all work seamlessly together. As you can see here in some of these clips, when I'm reviewing them on the app, I can see the motion all the way through in chronological order based on how the person was moving around the space where the cameras are picking them up. So if, for instance, the person crossed over 2 cameras, then it would show those camera views to me sequentially so that I get all angles and views, so I can really determine whether or not this is something that I need to be concerned about, or if it was just my neighbor John, who is an amazing physical therapist, just throwing out, I think, his lunch. It's fine. I do the same thing. I really don't like uneaten food sitting in my trash can in my studio here. So John, I don't blame you for using the corridor's garbage can to throw away the remainder of your lunch. Shout out to John Utes with PTZ Physical Therapy, by the way. They've also increased the audio quality on the Eufy S3 Pro, and that two-way talk feature is something that's really nice to be able to speak directly through it. They also have a 105 decibel siren that is extremely loud and helpful if you want to scare off would-be thieves. Another side note here is that Eufy S3 Pro cameras are compatible with Apple HomeKit. So one of the key features that I like about the Eufy S3 Pro is the flexibility of placement. I didn't have to think about power outlets. I didn't think about network cables or anything like that. I literally could place these cameras wherever I want to, even on top of this pillar here, just to give me full coverage. As long as I could connect to the Homebase 3, I was able to place these cameras wherever I wanted to. In addition to that, I needed to just make sure that they got enough sunlight. But at only 1 hour a day, you could technically even put them in a shady area, still get enough residual sunlight to power your camera up. And if all else fails, you can plug in that external solar panel. I'd still like to see them improve some of the functionality and navigation of the mobile app. Some of the built-in notifications that come down from the top in the app cover up the back button or navigation buttons at the top of the app. So that's a little bit frustrating. I got to sit there and wait for those to disappear because there's no way way to dismiss them. So that's one thing that I'd like to see them improve. But overall, it is one of the most well thought out mobile apps for navigating your home security camera system. So I'm a huge fan of the eufy ecosystem, and they've just leveled up their eufyCam line with the eufyCam S3 Pro lineup. So check the links in the description of this video. I've got the least expensive way to get either the 2-camera kit or the 4-camera kit, and I'm excited that they're going to be adding the individual cameras so you can add them to your existing Homebase 3. Let me know in the comments if you guys have eufy cameras and what your experience has been.